What's going on, guys? PixCam20 back again with a brand new video. So this video is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to be doing a commentary over a race, but I'm actually going to go over 5 simple tips that you guys can actually implement to your racing that can help you guys either finish in a better position or even win your next race, and help you guys move up even further in your safety rating and your driver rating, so you guys can be competing against higher tier people and get faster yourself. So let's jump right into it. I don't want to waste that much of your time. So the very first tip that we're going to touch on is you can't win lap 1. I know it's such an easy concept to say, but it's such a difficult concept to grasp. What I mean about this is that in the heat of the moment, it's such a difficult position for you to not want to try to overtake as many cars as you can on lap 1. Now, what happens with this is that you are prone to either making a lot more mistakes, or even just making a mistake by hitting other cars out, or making a mistake on yourself and spinning yourself out because you go in too hard or too deep into a turn. Another thing that I see is a lot of people dive bomb into turn 1. Remember, you can't win on turn 1, but you can definitely lose on turn 1. So what I mean about this is that unless you're alongside of the car ahead of you, do not dive bomb into turn 1, because what could end up happening is both of you guys can make contact and you end up spinning and you lose all the positions that you worked hard for on your qualifying. You could go from first to last in the span of one turn just because you decided to dive bomb because you thought that you were going to be able to win the race on the first lap. So another thing that I like to touch on is avoid trouble and focus on other people's mistake. What I mean about this is that during lap 1, a lot of incidents happen, so a lot more cars are packed together, so it's a lot more likely that they're going to either make contact, spin out, or cause a huge collision or crash. So always stay focused on the cars ahead of you and try to predict what's going to happen to the cars ahead of you. If you see they're running side by side very, very hard into a turn, maybe back off a little bit so you can have them maybe make a contact and have them spin out, and you get free positions like that. Not only does it give you free positions, but it also saves time. So the second thing that I like to go over is something called let it go. So what I do mean by let it go is not by the movie Frozen, but what I mean is let someone pass you if it's gonna cause you guys to lose time. So I'm not saying to just let everyone pass you if they're right behind you. If you need to drive defensive, but just remember, if they get alongside of you, just let them pass. It's gonna save you so much more time just letting them go through if they're alongside of you than trying to fight them through 3 or 4 or even 5 different turns, and you guys lose 3, 4, 5 seconds behind the leader or whoever's in front of you guys, and then you're basically lost 5, 6 seconds, but also you lost the position. So it's just not going to help out your case or the other guy's case. So it's better to just if they're alongside of you and you see them and they're ready to make the overtake, just let them go right through. It'll save you guys so much time, and on top of that, it can also save you from getting punted off or just spinning out because of a collision. So again, defend if necessary, but if you see a car is catching up to you, especially if they're on fresher tires, just let them go. So the third thing that I want to harness on is focus on the track and not the pack. What I mean by this is post lap 1, a lot of times the cars get very, very separated, so you end up either behind 1 or 2 cars or sometimes even a train of cars, but you can't get distracted by them. You can't let their braking points and their driving lines dictate which lines you're going to be running and how you're going to be braking. So I'm not saying ram them and just go straight right through them and pretend like they're not there, but you definitely want to keep focusing on your braking points and on your racing line so you don't get involved and distracted by their driving style and then fall into the trap of just using their references and slowing you down. So again, it's very, very important to focus on the track so you can hit all your braking points, minimizing the mistakes that you're going to be making when you're in a big pack or following a train. So remember, focus on the track and not the pack. Now the fourth tip I like to do is slipstream is key. I cannot stress this enough. You have to follow the slipstream when you're racing. I've seen a lot of times where a car is swerving down the front straightaway and the car behind him does not stay behind their slipstream. I know it's annoying and I know it's really difficult just moving left and right, but it's actually going to be a lot faster for you to stay behind the slipstream while the car in front of you is weaving left and right than just staying on the racing line. When you stay in the slipstream, you actually gain an extra 3 or 4 tenths just because it's so powerful on this game. And if the car is swerving ahead of you, they're slowing down because they keep swerving left and right, but you're going to be going faster because you're going to have the slipstream. So although both of you guys are still swerving left and right, you're going to be still going a lot faster than the guy ahead of you. So that's the fourth thing I'd like to touch on. The fifth thing I like to touch on is knowing your strategy. So before you head into any type of race, know the strategy. Hop on either a custom-made lobby or just go race by yourself in a single-player match with all the settings exactly the same as the multiplayer lobby. Knowing the strategy helps out a lot because it eases driving. You're able to save your tires and your fuel to the maximum amount that you need to save in order to win the race and to follow your strategy. It also helps out with the racing because let's say that you are on a strategy where you require to drive on the hards, but the car behind you is driving on the softs. You kind of see, you know, if you let them pass through, you're still racing your race on your strategy, and you don't have to worry about fighting them so much because you know that eventually they're going to have to come into pit, but you're going to still keep going through and follow your strategy, and you should minimize the amount of time that you're actually doing the racing. So it really helps out with easing the tension too. You know exactly what you need to be running when you're running your race, so it helps with finishing the race as quick as possible. So these are the 5 strategies and tips that I like to use when I race, whenever I do any FIA races, daily races, or any type of racing that has to do. Hopefully these tips really helped you guys out. Implement them to your next race, see which ones help out. If they don't, well, I'm sorry I didn't really do my job today, but if they do, that'll be awesome. Leave a like, really helps out the video. Comment down below if these tips really help out, or if you disagree with any of these tips, or even if you have your own 5 top tips to race better. If you do, comment it down below. Let's make a discussion. And anyways, if you guys haven't yet, subscribe. Really helps out the channel as well if you subscribe. And also ring the notification bell if you guys want to be notified for any new videos that I make. Hope you guys have a really great day. See you guys on the next video. Peace out.